And I am recording. Hey, hello, beautiful friends. It's Bex Burton here. I have somebody very, very special with me today that I am so tickled to introduce to you. She is my friend. She's also a woman that's been my teacher, my coach. She is a spiritual psychologist. She is a tantrika, a modern day priestess, and she is just a badass woman all around. Entrepreneur, a mama, like fierce woman on this planet making big waves. And it is a delight to bring her to your attention because she's had such an impact on my life. And we're here today to talk about the that impact and like how working with her has changed my life and supported me in my own growth and moving my own business forward. So without further ado, welcome my dear Anahita Joon.
Oh, thanks, baby. That was such a delicious intro.
Well,
And I love you. And you're just looking so scrumptious, which is, I was telling you that before we started recording. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm wearing my red, my color of celebration and joy, passion, yes. And I've learned so many of these things from you in the course that I took with you last year, I guess that was this year, which was Beauty Unleashed, your signature program. And, we're here today to talk a little bit about the things that I've learned about me and my essence and my color palette, but also sort of the deeper workings that your program offers and how that's impacted my life and some of the other women in the group and what's come through for them.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me and for the beautiful sisters in your community. Let's see. My intention for you is that, Bex and I's dialogue serve as a remembering of sorts for you, that you remember more of what's possible for your beauty, for your joy, for your self-expression, for your worthiness of love and abundance and all the things that you want. So we're having a little show and tell. And yeah, just the prayer is that it serve you. So I have a question for you. So we knew each other for how long before we worked together?
I think it was about 1.5 years.
Yeah, so we were friends for 1.5 years. Yeah, maybe 2 years before.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the thing that happened? Like, what? Because it's so funny. Like when I have my friends work with me, I'm always like, well, what changed? Like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, we were introduced through a business mastermind, and things were just very cute and sparkly when we met. I believe that I called you into my life. I was complaining to a friend that I had no friends in Colorado, and then all of a sudden somebody's introducing me to you, who's just moving to Boulder, and I'm like, oh my God. So there was that moment. But I think it was literally almost, I believe it was an entire year later where we were at another mastermind, and you had popped into my hotel room while I was, while there were some other girls and taking off the makeup and get ready to shower. I had my hair pulled back, my bleached blonde hair pulled back, and I'm taking off my makeup, and you come right up into my face and you said, "Oh, there you are, Rebecca." And it was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were we rooming that time? I thought maybe we were roommates.
No, I was rooming with Shireen, and I think you were either in a room by yourself or maybe your man came by. That was like the Palm Springs.
Oh, so I was Palm Springs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a while back. Mm-hmm.
It is a while back. Yeah. But that really it really landed with me. Maybe it was the same year. Maybe it was just a couple months after we met. But I remember the switch went off where I was like, oh, she's not just a sparkly friend. She's my teacher. Like, it was like, oh, I got a lot to learn from this one.
Oh,
So that was the moment. And, and it was like, we were building a friendship, but every time that we would hang out together, I said this to you at one point, that I would end up in tears because there was so much longing and discontent in my heart. And it was just so, it was so much. And, I felt just such a kindred in you that every time we were together, it was like, I knew you got me, and I knew that you understood the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. And, you did this loving thing that, maybe other people wouldn't receive as loving, but you you sent me a voice recording and you were like, hey, you know, I was talking to my husband about you and I realized like, I don't want to be talking to him about you. I want to be talking with you about you. And I really feel like everything that you're going through and everything that you're holding on your plate is everything that I address in my program, Beauty Unleashed. And I knew it. Like, I knew it before you sent me that message. So when you sent me that message, it was like, it was more tears of just knowing, and like knowing that you're my teacher and knowing that I was meant to learn so much from you. And I think it was maybe like a couple of weeks later that I jumped into your program because, you know, it takes a minute to figure things out, but it, you know, but I knew. So that's how that all happened.
You know, a couple of things. It's like, yeah, I don't remember the exact moment that I said, there you are, but you had this like super platinum blonde hair, and, you know, it was very different vibrationally than your essence, which is what we're looking at now. But what you're speaking to, like around this longing that you had, that there was so much longing, and like how you would burst into tears. And I know it happened like multiple times. We'd be at my house, we'd go to dinner, and you would just start crying. And I was like, and what I want to say is I want to acknowledge that that's such a common experience for women. You know, the deep desire to be seen and celebrated, and safe to let ourselves be seen, and then be seen and celebrated is such a desire in so many female hearts. And it was in mine as well. So that's why I could relate. I understood what it was like to be like, I'm holding all this back and I really want to let myself out. And I'm just like, you know, squishing the shit out of myself, basically.
Exactly. You know, and at one point in my life, it was very easy to be expressed and creative and artistic because I was living in, well, I felt safer, you know, whatever the outside circumstances were. But when those external circumstances changed, it no longer felt safe to be outrageous. And, you know, with my bleach blonde dreadlocks and all of that, it felt more like a costume. It felt more like I had grown out of that look and that feel, but I didn't know what I was growing into. So, you know, the best and easiest thing that I could do for myself at the time was just hide in like jeans and t-shirts, because that's, you know, the uniform. So that made things worse.
Mm-hmm.
And that was around the time that we came together. And you know, the beautiful thing about the work that you've done is help me step into an authentic, you know, it's funny because like I want to say an authentic style, an authentic look, but it's so much more than that, because it's like I feel like all of the parts of me have aligned, and now the outward expression is matching that vibration. So it's not just like the clothes that I'm wearing or the fact that my hair is more natural now, but it's all of the things that, you know, I have a better connection with my 360-degree range of emotions. Like anger, that was kind of a taboo, and that was not really a frequency that I ever tapped into. And, you know, through the work that we've done together, like that's allowed. I mean, I have skillful ways of channeling that, and it's not like a mess, but you know, and also like the way that I show up with my husband. I mean, sure, the clothing, like he's even said to me that, you know, the work that I've done with you has been some of the best personal growth and development work that he's witnessed me transform through. Mm-hmm. And so he loves the new me. He loves that I'm looking like a lady, and like, you know, he's digging it. And he, you know, and it's very much impacted the way that he and I relate together, not just from an intimacy standpoint, but also my own personal power in the relationship. You know, I think that my pattern in relationship is showing up really strong at the beginning. And then once there's that familiarity and the relationship is bonded, then, you know, I historically have the tendency to fall into my little girl energy and my wounds of I don't matter and I'm not enough. And then I edit myself, and then I allow like myself to just kind of disappear.
You did.
And I know, and you know, we've talked about this. It's not an option for me in this relationship. Like, this is my beloved. Like, I love this man. And the things that I had been running away from for 40 years are the things that I feel like your program has really supported me in stepping into and facing.
That's really beautiful, vulnerable sharing. And, you know, you kind of went there. So I'm just going to go there. And I wasn't sure if we were going to go there on this, in this specific conversation, but it's this piece around when women step into our embodiment of the sacred feminine, that the men in our lives soften, that they're nourished by it. It's just this, like, I mean, it just feeds them in a space that is so beyond the mind, you know, because beauty feeds the soul. So I want to speak a little bit to your audience around the piece of the teachings around beauty, which is that Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes. So that's how we enter into the teachings, is Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes. Let's have a look at you through color and vibration and clothes, and have you come home to yourself. And then when you come home to yourself at that level, and you let yourself be seen and you let yourself shine, and let your beauty be a contribution. So the story of like, I'm not beautiful completely goes away, because you actually, you know, we unravel this piece of Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes. Like, okay, I theoretically get it, but no, she made a mistake with my booty, and she made a mistake with my nose and my hair color. And it's like, no. Let's put this all back together. Let's actually put you in the right colors that will help you see how on purpose you are. You know, and the color work has been around for so long. This is a different body of the work. I think most of the women that I speak to, like, they got this book called Color Me Beautiful, like in the 80s, and they did it with their mom. I don't know if you did that.
I did.
Yeah. So this is a different body of work. There's a psychology element to the work that is the piece that I feel like really liberates. And yeah, I just feel called to share something like what you shared about Nick just really enjoying the beauty element of you just embodying your beauty. A couple of things, like Morgan, who left our retreat, like she left our first retreat together, and she said, I got asked out 3 times, like in the week after the retreat, by men who I would be interested in. Mm-hmm. She said, I kept getting asked out by men I would not be interested in. And now she was coming home to her essence, and she was getting asked out by guys who were, she was interested in. And then like Felice went home and, you know, was having sex with her husband every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. And my accountability partners, I mean, one of them has been literally attracting high vibration men into her life, like a new one every 2 weeks.
Right.
It's so wacky to watch her, like, but now she's in this place of discerning and not just accepting any man that comes her way. It's like, she's in that place of like, she knows that she's 100% that bee, you know, mm-hmm. And she is in this position of discerning and like, is this my king? Is this my king? You know, versus like, am I enough for him? Or like, is this, you know, like, is he, I don't know. Versus,
it's I think it's become less like, oh yay, a high vibrational man, because I think for a while it was for her like, well, can I just get a conscious man? And now there's a new standard. No, like, I'm here. So this is the standard of what I would even entertain, but let's see if like he's the right fit, you know? And yeah, there's just so much magic that happens. There's this thing that I wrote on Facebook about this moment, and you probably read it, like about when I got a standing ovation. And I want to share that because it's not just my experience. It's the experience of, you know, any woman who goes through Beauty Unleashed and does the work. Yes. You know, you could sign up for Beauty Unleashed and not do the work. But if you go through and do the work, and the moment was, I'll just make it quick so we can do our show and tell. You know, the moment was that I was at this conference. I was at the Pioneers conference, and I was, you know, I was really inspired, and I was leaving a session early to go across campus and buy some books to get them signed. And so I left just before the break so I could like cut the lines, you know, and I was crossing this big campus. And as I'm crossing the campus, I'm wearing this head to toe burgundy, kind of like this color behind me, with a white kimono over it, black and silver accessories, and just totally like in my own joy of life, you know. Yeah. I'm walking across this campus, and there's these vendors over to my left that are, you know, like tamales, chai, smoothie and salad, you know, whatever. There was a few of them, but those are the ones I remember. And as I was walking, all of a sudden I noticed, they were like 20 feet over there, that the men at these booths like stood up as I'm walking. Like they just stood up. They didn't say anything. They just stood up. And I was like, oh. And this is like when we allow the sacred feminine to come through, it's just got such a phenomenal impact in our lives, on the people and our jobs and our opportunities. Anyway, so I got the books, I got them signed, and on my way back, I was walking again, and I forgot about the experience. You know, I was just in the moment again. All of a sudden, I saw out of the corner of my eye one guy tell the other guy and the other guy. So I saw it, like it went like, and they stood up, and they go, "Would you like some free chai? Would you like free tamales? Would you like salad?"
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, maybe later." But it was like, and it wasn't at all about my ego. And this is what we teach in Beauty Unleashed, is part of third stage consciousness, which is really being a conduit for the divine light, the essence to come through. And, you know, all of our souls are so much bigger than what can fit into these small bodies without effort. And so the work becomes through play and celebration and color and deep healing work and embodiment and eroticism and sensuality. Like, how can we get more of the soul to be in this vehicle? So the light of the soul and then the light of the sacred feminine can shine through, and all the ways that blesses our lives. So I guess I just felt like I was supposed to share that.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I mean, I certainly haven't had a standing ovation like that, but I definitely experienced the world in a very different way, being in my colors. You know, like even the shift in my hair, which again was inspired by you. I mean, and I think a big part of that is just I feel so much more at home in my temple. And, you know, and like you're saying, like the more we invite more of the soul in, like the more the divine can radiate through us. And I feel that way when I go out, and, you know, and I just feel the desire to share that with people. And so like, there'll be a man in the kitchen from like at a bagel shop or whatever, and I just smile at him, and just knowing like how beautiful my smile is. And again, not being egotistical, but just knowing that, holy shit, like just that simple act is a gift for him. And like, and it doesn't mean anything, you know, like sexual or anything like that. But if I were a single woman attracting a man, like how much power that has just with its simplicity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the things that I've always taught in my love coaching, was that, you know, our natural, like feminine essence, like the beauty that we are, is that gift to men. But we really have to like step into it and own it, versus, you know, I know for me on my journey to love, like there were moments where I was very, you know, living in New York and getting catcalled. I was very like, you know, just wearing dowdy clothes and black, and like, just don't, you know, get your eyes off of me kind
Don't
of.
violate my space. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it just feels so free and light and loving to be in that relationship with myself where I, you know, can give it so freely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the piece, you know, that you said about New York, because we had several women living in New York who went through the program. And like one of them was talking about, she had men hanging out of the, you know, taxi drivers hanging out, complimenting her. And she was like, it was not a cat call, because she knows what a cat call is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And once she stepped into owning her beauty in this way, like he just was like, seeing you made my day, you know, or like the time before you, the round before you, our friend Jacqueline went through Beauty Unleashed. And, you know, she's a business lady. And it was just the best moment. She goes, I went back to my co-working space, and this, you know, man just comes up to me and goes, whatever you're doing, it's working. And it's like, okay. So we just have a few minutes left, and I want to do the show and tell, if that's cool. If you want to grab your clothes, so we can, you know, your people can see what we're even talking about here. So one of the doorways that I take women through is through colors and clothes, and the whole work that we do is really initiatory. So like, it's safe to be in your body. You can see your exquisite perfection. Come home. It's safe. Stay. Celebrate yourself. Express yourself. Magnetize to you what is yours. And I'd love to see the clothes first, but I guess you pulled this power necklace. No, let's look at it. So one of the things we do is we choose power amulets for our participants, and this is one of Rebecca's. I mean, bring it closer, sister. Bring it to the yeah. Like, look at that. I mean, how did you feel when we picked that out for you, and how do you feel when you wear it?
I think when you picked it out and I looked at it for the first time online, I think I was terrified. And that, you know, and that's sort of a cycle that I had gotten used to, because if you remember, I know you remember, the very first piece of jewelry that was suggested to me, I had all kinds of objections to. I just, whatever, left and right. But this one, I knew, like, by that time we were closer towards the end of the program, and I knew that there was, the feeling terrified of wearing this was medicine for me. I knew that that was a doorway for me to walk into to a higher expression of myself. And I mean, literally, look at this gorgeous beauty.
So powerful. Put it on, just like without putting it on, just put it so we can see, like, yeah, it's just this, it becomes about ownership, like really ownership of what we are.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is that when I wear it, I feel like a goddess, like, a walking on earth goddess in human form, because it's just so spectacular and it catches everyone's eye. I mean, it's just beyond.
Right. And so for anyone, and this is one of the key pillars of what I teach in Beauty Unleashed. Like, if you're thinking like, hey, if I don't want all that attention, or what will I do with all that attention, is I actually teach you embodiment practices on how to feel safe in your body. So you can stay in your body, you can stay connected to your power when you get the attention. It's okay. Like, you can stay safe, you can stay in, because we don't want to just have you like attracting things and you're like, we don't. So we do all the work. Can you just pull all of the clothes at once so we can just hold them up one at a time?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've got them right here.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just, and what happens when, you went through, and what people go through, is they get a psychology of color palette from 3,500 colors. They get 50 to 70 that are uniquely aligned with their inner light. And so that skirt, can we just hold up that skirt for a minute?
Sure.
Like, it's just so delicious. I'm sure everybody agrees with me.
It's the chiffon skirt that's hot pink and floral. And I've never really been opposed to flowers, but learning that I'm a spring, and that like flowers are, I can just really go over the top and embrace them. I found this and I was just over the top in love. It also has these lace panels.
So gorgeous. Well, you have a beautiful photo in this. Actually, you could send it. You know what? When you send this out, you could send the photo.
Will. Yeah.
Because then you have that same blue bolero with it too, right?
I do. This blue bolero. Funny enough, how funny, just as a performer and someone who just loves clothing and fashion anyway, I've had this for like, I don't know, probably 15 years. And I don't think I've ever worn it, because it felt, I don't know, whatever it felt. It just felt like too much or too costumey. But what I love is that like you and your team helped me pull this together into an outfit that was high fashion,
classy,
didn't feel costumey at all, but still felt like fun and over the top, ridiculous, which is, how I like to be in the world, is just like, like high energy and fun and high vibration. And so I love that, my fun, colorful pieces have a place in my wardrobe, even if at one time they felt too costumey.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And it's so soft.
Yay. Let's see your jacket.
Okay, so then this one.
Have we ever outfitted that jacket? Like, have we shop your closeted it? Let me see it for a minute.
I know. I forgot to put this in Shop My Closet, which is kind of a miss.
Yeah, and Shop Your Closet is this experience that you have in the program, where like you submit all the photos of all the, beauty that we've helped you curate and purchase for yourself. And we help you put the outfits together in this really beautiful way. So yeah. There you are. I'm thinking of like what would be amazing with it. Gosh, like if you had like a yellow jumpsuit or something.
Oh, yellow. Yellow's not even in my palette.
Yeah, we got to get a yellow in there.
Okay. I love yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow. But yeah, and she's got a sparkly tiger on the back.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful. Yeah. And that's in your power family. So like that's the color in that family that you would wear when you want to hold someone's attention, or if you're presenting an idea to a room full of people, if you're talking to people you would be otherwise intimidated by. So there's this practical element of the psychology of colors and how you walk in the world. And then there's all this celebration and all this deliciousness and all the good healing. And then the healing that happens when you come together with a sisterhood of powerful women, which is, I know you really had a firsthand experience of that.
My sister, bonded for life. Like the moment we met, we went in deep, And, you know, and the program has long been over, and we still have our weekly call, and we talk every day on
You
Voxer. I
guys are
mean,
not the only ones. You're not. I was talking to Kathy, and I know I'm just saying names that are irrelevant to everyone who's watching. I was talking to Kathy, and she was like, Mina wants me to come to Arizona. Kathy lives in England, you know, and they have their weekly calls. So she's flying from England and, you know, an extra time to just go hang out with her sister.
love it.
Because the intimacy is so deep that gets created. We're so past our time here. So is there anything you want to say to close this? I know you're gonna share a little bit more about your journey after this recording and stuff.
I will, yes. And I'll share with my audience. I mean, this has just been, I mean, I've known since the beginning that you were my teacher, and I'm so, so glad that I took this leap. I mean, it literally has changed my life in so many ways. And, you know, there are just so many ways that we can support ourselves. And I think the reason why this has been such a transformational experience for me is because it isn't a system. It's not a formula. It's literally like looking at the self as individuals and who we are, and finding our own unique essence, our own unique vibration. It's not trying to slap you know, a formula or any kind of cookie cutter anything onto us, other than like what Mother Nature has already carved out for us. So it's, you know, and again, like the color stuff is literally just that entryway into like owning all of the other parts of ourselves, so that we show up to the boardroom or the table as, you know, our best and highest selves. And yeah, I just can't say I can't say powerful enough things about the work that we've done together, and I'm ever grateful.
Oh, that feels so good to me, sweetie. That feels
Yeah.
so good to me. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that feels so good. And I know you're going to have more stuff because the work does go much more in depth that we do over the 6 months. It's a transformational immersion sort of. And I know you're going to have some stuff that you'll get to share with your community, but we wanted to just do a little show.
What would I feel like you have something to share with my community too. Is there something that they can check out or go deeper with you in the immediate?
I mean, I think you're what we're planning, which is really the best thing. We can give you the link, but I think the best thing is that the training that you're going to send the day after this video.
Right. Okay.
I think that's really because, you know, I mean, we're all busy and we all have resources of time and money, and the more information we have to, like, you know, like you just know. But I would say if you see this and you already know, like, hey, I need more of this, just like let Bex know. Yeah, let Bex know. She'll make the contact, but you're going to get more free training from us because my commitment is to really, I mean, you know, just seriously, this is all initiation work that no woman should be without. So that's the training you're going to get. The free advanced training is pretty extensive. It's about 90 minutes, and I like rapid fire go through all of these elements that tie in together to really liberate. Great. So much gratitude for you, my beauty. And
thank you so much.
Lots of love to the community.
Thank you.
Bye, sisters.
Bye.